I need to talk about this right here. So yesterday's game was obviously funny. Yesterday's game was obviously crazy. But have you guys not seen the petition? The petition, lads. So if you guys didn't see, obviously, there is the Dallas Wings fan page. Take the All-Star game out of Indiana. I'm serious. This is about player safety. Dude, don't worry. Neither JC or Marina is making the All-Star team. Players will be safe.
The WNBA doesn't just want Sophie Cunningham benched. They want her erased. Gone. Like she committed a crime instead of backing her teammate and speaking her mind. Since when did playing enforcer and throwing a little shade turn into a league emergency? Did Sophie score 30? Or did she just drop too many truth bombs for the front office to handle? Strap in, because this drama escalated fast. We're talking ejections, pearl-clutching overreactions, and a full-blown league meltdown hotter than a July tip-off. How did one fiery moment turn into calls for her to be out forever? And is this about sportsmanship or something deeper? Let's break down the chaos.
We have had so far with Sophie Cunningham. She is standing on business. She's trending everywhere, and now she's retweeting all the drama. Sophie has simply made herself a star, which she was already famous, but at this point, she hella famous, super famous. She got parody accounts been made on her. God, this is lit.
Only in this upside-down, bizarro version of the WNBA does a player step in to defend her teammate from elbows, cheap shots, and non-stop physical play, and somehow she's the villain. Sophie Cunningham stands up for Caitlin Clark, and suddenly she's public enemy number one? One dramatic keyboard warrior even declared, like they were delivering a Shakespearean monologue, "There's no place in the game for what Sophie Cunningham did. This warrants further review and league punishment." Punishment for backing her teammate. So this is where we are now. Protecting a teammate is treated like a criminal offense. According to the outrage machine, grit equals misconduct. And of course, the internet couldn't resist turning it into a full-blown meltdown. Fans proudly posted that a petition had been launched to have Sophie removed from the league. Removed from the league. You can't make this up. Where was that same energy when Caitlin Clark was getting knocked around for simply being talented? No emergency meetings. No viral petitions. Just silence. Now suddenly it's, remove Sophie Cunningham from the WNBA for misconduct. Misconduct? The only misconduct here is acting like she committed a felony instead of showing loyalty. And if 119 signatures are enough to cancel a player, then maybe we should just wrap the entire league in bubble wrap and hand out participation trophies. Because at this point, the overreaction might be more dramatic than the play itself.
Bubble wrap. So lads, Sophie Cunningham, obviously a player for the Indiana Fever, who got into a little bit of trouble last night. And by trouble, I mean she took somebody down, and then when they tried to go at her, two of them went at her. She held one of them off with one hand while getting the other one in a Muay Thai hold, and looked like if this was an MMA fight, she would have started bringing the head down to the knee. Like, you better believe in a 2-on-1, I'm taking Sophie Cunningham over Lindsay Allen and JC Sheldon.
This was never just about one play, one whistle, or one night. It's about a pattern, a dizzying cycle where the moment the Indiana Fever build momentum, something tries to knock it sideways. And at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, rewriting what rookie impact looks like, bending attendance records, stretching defenses to the logo, all while absorbing elbows, eye rolls, and a level of scrutiny that feels wildly disproportionate to the crime of being good. She drains a 3 from the parking lot, and instead of applause, the internet files a complaint. And Sophie Cunningham? She saw it. The cold shoulder. The extra contact. The subtle and not so subtle resistance to Clark's rise. She didn't hold a press conference. She didn't perform for cameras. She reacted with instinct, with loyalty. And that was enough to set off a digital firestorm faster than a fast break. The most absurd part? The tone of the petition. You'd think she committed a league-altering scandal instead of stepping between her teammate and more chaos. She protected someone in a physical league, and suddenly the punishment being floated is exile. The message feels loud even if it's completely warped. Speak up and you're the problem. Stay quiet and you're professional. Step in and you're misconduct. That's the fever dream irony of it all. Sophie isn't some cartoon villain. If anything, she's an uncomfortable mirror. She reflects how uneasy some people get when women don't just compete, but defend each other unapologetically. And the petition? It reads less like a serious disciplinary demand and more like something typed mid-caffeine crash after an aggressive scroll through fan forums. At some point, the outrage becomes more theatrical than the game itself.
The enforcer situation at the end of the Fever game last night after the repugnant behavior of Marina Mabrey and J.C. Sheldon. And of course, Cunningham ended up getting the gate out of it. I've also got Stephanie White making comments about the refs. I give her credit for at least she went hard at the referees, and I wonder, will the WNBA fine this coach over that? I've got a feeling. They shouldn't. They better listen.
Remove her forever. You'd think Sophie wandered into Area 51 and exposed alien secrets, not stepped up in a heated moment during a contact sport. A lifetime ban? That's not discipline. That's dramatic theater dressed up as moral superiority. Forever is what you reserve for scandals, corruption, or something that fundamentally damages the league, not a split-second act of loyalty. If that's the new standard, what's next? Suspensions for boxing out too aggressively? Parole hearings for hard fouls? Sophie didn't start a bench-clearing brawl. She didn't sabotage a scoreboard. She didn't drop a wrestling elbow off the top rope. She stood firm, visible, fierce, protective. In a league that constantly markets toughness, grit, and passion. And somehow that's being framed as a cardinal sin. Here's the ironic twist. The moment in question happened while defending Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest draw, a walking rating surge, a logo range highlight machine who fills arenas and shifts national attention. The energy that should be focused on protecting star talent instead gets redirected into a bizarre crusade against the teammate who had her back. That's not accountability. That's cartwheels into absurdity. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever have done exactly what underdogs do. Absorb the noise, take the hits, and keep pushing forward. They're not here to be supporting characters in someone else's narrative. They're building their own. And maybe that's what really makes people uncomfortable. Not the contact, not the reaction, but the momentum.
Cunningham retweets the petition on top of her jersey being sold out. I told you, man. I told y'all. Sophie Cunningham is from the Show Me State, bruh. She's standing on business. She's standing on business, and she wish you would. She wish you would. She probably find all of this entertaining that they is going all out of the way for this whole situation with Marina Marbury and J.C. Sheldon.
They weren't supposed to matter this season. That was the script. And yet here they are, relevant, televised, dissected, headline-worthy. The Indiana Fever weren't penciled into the spotlight, but they forced their way in. And the second they start acting like a tight-knit team, defending each other, pushing back, playing with edge, suddenly they're cast as the villains. It would be funny if it weren't so predictable. Critics fire off sharpened tweets and emoji outrage while conveniently ignoring the bigger pattern. Caitlin Clark elevates the league's visibility with every crossover and logo range 3. She boosts ratings, fills arenas, shifts the cultural conversation. She's not just participating, she's reshaping how the game is consumed, marketed, monetized. And somehow, excellence gets treated like arrogance. Instead of applause, there's suspicion. Instead of celebration, there's resistance, as if her impact is an unfair advantage rather than earned skill. She doesn't fit the old mold. She laughs mid-game. She pulls from 40 feet. She stares down defenders. She plays with swagger and doesn't apologize for it. She doesn't just show up, she owns the stage. And then Sophie steps in. Not with chaos. Not with theatrics. Just presence. Loyalty. A refusal to let the moment slide. That's the supposed scandal. But this isn't really about a single play or a single reaction. It's about discomfort. Discomfort with disruption. Discomfort with momentum that can't be controlled. Discomfort with a team that wasn't supposed to matter suddenly demanding space in the narrative. The irony? The league has been begging for attention, for relevance, for this kind of spotlight. Now that it has it, now that the conversation is louder and the stakes feel bigger, the growing pains are showing. This whole episode feels less like justice and more like misplaced outrage. When the delivery system for momentum doesn't fit neatly into old expectations, tension follows. But tension is what happens when something shifts. And whether critics like it or not, the shift is already here.